Someone said, how do you handle being black in the corporate world, especially in the legal field? TV shows about law are nothing like what it's like in real life. How to deal with application, rejections and moving forward. How do you get ready for your next step in your career and bigger and better salary? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a career related Q&A. I always get so many questions on Instagram on my legal career, professional career, and just so many questions. So today I decided to kickstart things off with a Q&A. I'm going to be doing more videos that are like career related and specific to like career advice and like finding out what you want to do and actually just, you know, thriving in your professional career. So today I'm going to be doing a Q&A from Instagram. I asked you guys to ask me some questions and you guys have asked me some questions that I'm going to read out and answer to the best of my ability. So yeah, let's go. Someone said, how do you handle being black in the corporate world, especially in the legal field? I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard at first to kind of like get a balance. When I kind of finished law school and I was like looking for different jobs, paralegaling and also looking for training contracts at the same time, it was really hard to kind of find a balance because I live in Kent, predominantly a white area, should I say. So it was really hard for me. I would literally be like the only black person in a law firm. Like a lot of my jobs I've been like the only black person. At my current workplace I am the only black person, the only black woman as well. Yeah, it is kind of hard sometimes, but you just kind of have to find a balance and be able to be a people's person. I feel like because I'm such a people's person, I'm able to kind of thrive while still being my authentic self. At the end of the day, you just need to be yourself. But I've also learned to code switch. For instance, a lot of conversations on like Twitter are like, oh, why do you need to code switch? Why do you need it's not about why, it's the fact that at the end of the day, people have different upbringing. So black people's upbringing is so different to white people's upbringing, and I feel like to be able to accommodate both is a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing as some people make it out to be. So for example, when I'm at home, I'm black as in black. I speak Yoruba and everything, but when I'm at work, I keep it professional because at the end of the day, that is your job. It's like when you go to church, you're not out there in church swearing, doing the most and like being vulgar, and you know, there's a place for everything. It's not really that much of a big deal the way people make it seem. And I feel like once you work in a place that accepts you for who you are, you don't actually have to hide too much of yourself. Like, you're obviously a black person, like it's on your skin tone. They already know that. So recently it hasn't been too bad, but I'm not gonna lie, the first few jobs I had, I really found it really hard to kind of like adjust to like the work setting and being like the only black person. You almost feel like no one can relate to you. But where I work now, everyone's really nice and friendly, so I don't really feel it. I don't feel the need to be overly black or overly not black. I'm just myself at work, and yeah, I even like make jokes about like certain things. Like I'll be like, that is so white like, or I'll be like, I'm just too black for that. Like there's like conversations that's been had about like different things, and there's just things that, you know, us black people just don't do. I don't know, for example, like just random things, and I'll just be like, I am just too black for that, I'm sorry. And I just say it, and it's like, it's fine, because the people I work with, they don't take things too like seriously, like, oh my god, she's black, you know, oh my god, we have to be like this with her. It's not that deep at all. So I feel like finding the right workplace will definitely make it easy for you. Someone said, how do you stay true to your blackness in a white dominated field? It's kind of the same thing. Like once you find a good firm or a good company to work with that fully embraces you, you'll find that you're just more yourself. Yeah, that's just all it is. How do you get ready for your next step in your career and bigger and better salary? I think the best thing to do is to first do up your CV. Make sure your CV is on point. Make sure that you have put every single thing that you've done in your training or like your previous work experience, put it in your CV, and then just start kind of applying for jobs that are similar roles or like better than what you already have. Because at the end of the day, the best way to build your career is to apply for roles that are seeking for a little bit more experience and a little bit more than what you already know, because then you grow, and when you go into that role, you grow, you learn more things, and then you can go into a bigger role. And I feel like that's just the way to do it. And the bigger your role or like your job title, the bigger your salary gets. gets, and that's just how it is. How did you know you wanted to study law in the first place? Somebody said, how did you know you wanted to be a lawyer, which is like the same thing. I wouldn't say I always knew that I wanted to do law or I wanted to study law. I kind of really found it interesting. Before I applied to unis, I kind of read up on like different subjects. I wanted to do like architecture because I do like art, drawings, all of that. I really find like buildings fascinating. I wanted to do art, I wanted to do so many different things, but I was reading up about law and it was really interesting to me, so I kind of just went to do law. Previously to go in uni, I'd never done law A-level or anything GCSEs, nothing like that. I did not do law at A-level, but went to uni to study law and I really loved it. In the first few months I didn't like it, I wanted to quit. I was just like, what is this? But then after I started really getting into my books and like reading up about things, I really enjoyed it, and I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. Yeah, and then that's just how I followed my passion. I was really passionate about it because I just knew that I wanted to do it. And also when I was in uni, being an influencer wasn't a thing. It wasn't like part of me growing up. We didn't really have influencers. So when I was in uni, having YouTube or like doing other things like Instagram and stuff was just by the way. It was just on the side. It wasn't really something that I wanted to take seriously. And I feel like the reason why I kind of didn't leave law to do influencing is because I've always kind of felt like there's only so much, but I feel like there's only so much you can do to a certain age. Like with law, I will always have that in the back of my hand. Like there's lawyers that are like in their 50s and their 40s. Like who am I going to be influencing at the age of 40, please? Like I know you guys will still be there and like follow me on my journey and stuff, but at the end of the day, a lot of my followers will grow up and be like their own person, and you guys will have like your own family and stuff. So it's going to be really hard I personally feel like it's going to be hard for me to keep influencing in my older days. But like having law is something that I can do forever, and I know that it will always be there, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I feel like with influencing, you can't really control the future. Like there's less control on being an influencer because you're essentially relying on other people to pay you, and I don't like that idea. Like you're basically relying on like your followers to engage with you. You're relying on like your subscribers on YouTube to watch your videos so that you can actually, you know, get paid by YouTube. And I like to be in control of my own income. I'm sorry. I want to know when I'm getting paid, how much I'm getting paid. I want to know that it's steady. I mean, a lot of influencers do get paid steadily, but for me, I don't know, I like the security that law gives me, and that is why I don't feel like I can let it go anytime soon. Someone said, why not become a barrister? So in the UK, I've already explained this before, but I will explain it again because I know that some of you like are like new subscribers or like new followers. So in the UK, we have lawyers under one bracket, yeah? So there's lawyers and they all do different things. So there's lawyers that are like solicitors, there's lawyers that are barristers, and then there's legal execs. Solicitors generally work in law firms, which means that you are employed as a solicitor and you can always work your way up to be a partner, which is where like the big bucks are. But yeah, so solicitors get paid regularly on a salary. A lot of the time they're the sort of lawyers that you see in like London, city firms, suits, all of that. And then there's barristers. Barristers generally go to the court on behalf of their clients. So for example, if I was doing a case and I did all the paperwork to the court and everything, it would get to a point where the barrister needs to go into the court to represent my client for me. That's how it kind of works. The reason why I didn't really want to be a barrister is most barristers in the UK are self-employed, and I thought about it and I already had kind of like influencing, which is kind of like self-employed. I wanted to have like a steady salary as well, like a steady income, so that's why I chose to be a solicitor. Not the main reason, but I feel like, and also I feel like going to court isn't really my thing. So yeah, I'm not really that good at defending people, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that is why I chose to be a solicitor instead of a barrister. How did you figure out your career? I feel like it's not really something that you just figure out. I feel like I'm still figuring it out. Like I still want to do so many things with my career, so I feel like it's just something that you figure out with time. The more experience you get in your field, the more you're able to kind of figure out where you want to be, what you want to specialize in and stuff like that. Yeah, I wouldn't say I just kind of like figured it out. I just decided that I wanted to do law and I stuck with it. That's literally it. I literally motivated myself every single day. I stayed dedicated to it and I kind of stuck with it, and I'm still figuring it out. Like a lot of people are still kind of figuring it out. It's not something that you just figure out and that's it. Someone said, what is the difference between solicitor and barrister in the UK? I've already kind of explained that. How long did it take you to get a training contract after uni or LPC? I didn't get a training contract till 2 years after I did my LPC. That is normal for a lot of people. Ideally, people would like to get a training contract before they do their LPC. A lot of people do that. A lot of people wait till they get a training contract before they do their LPC. When I was in law school doing my LPC, I was like one of the youngest people in my class every single day. Like everybody else was like 27, 28, 29. We even had that. There was like people in their 30s when I was doing my LPC, and I was 21 when I went to do my LPC, so I was like constantly the youngest person there. But I knew that I wanted to do my LPC and get it out of the way, mainly because it was at that time that I wanted to take like Instagram and social media a little bit more seriously, and I knew that if I took social media seriously and I didn't do my LPC, I just knew that my LPC would never get done. I would have just done my law degree for no reason. So I wanted to get my LPC out of the way and then just kind of work and then do a bit of influencing and then get a training contract. To me, that was just what made sense and it worked out well for me. So yeah, that is what I did. Advice on dealing with difficult or inconsiderate parents. They're always wanting their way. Like I always say, I mean, this is one advice that I would say is the best way to deal with inconsiderate and like hard-headed African parents is to be hard-headed back. I'm sorry, like with African parents, yeah, if you don't rebel, that like they will forever have their own way. If you don't put your foot down and be like, no, I'm an adult, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to do it, you will never get anywhere with them if you don't put your foot down. That is what I would say. And also being respectful at the same time, obviously, like don't disrespect your parents. Best way to deal with it is to put your foot down and stick to it. That's what I did and it helped. It always helped me. So yeah. How to deal with application rejections and moving forward. This would have to be like a whole video because I dealt with a lot of rejection in the past and it was really hard for me to kind of take in. I hate rejection. I always found it really hard to deal with. I would literally cry so much and it would really affect my mood. For me, a lot of the times when I do apply for jobs, it's like, oh, you don't have enough experience, you don't have enough experience. I actually once said to a recruiter, what do I need to do to gain experience? Like what exactly do you want me to do? And I said to another company, you already knew that from looking at my CV, 1. 2, how am I supposed to get work experience when nobody's gonna hire me? Like it doesn't make sense. I was so annoyed about that, but she was actually nice. She gave me some feedback, which I took on board. Oh, by the way, if you want to know how to get work experience, I'm gonna link my video down below or like at the top of the screen. I have done a video on how to like get work experience. But yeah, dealing with rejection can be really hard. The best way to move forward is to get feedback from them, and 2, just try to apply for roles that are within what you know or like within what you know that you can do and you can be successful at, because at the end of the day when you go for an interview, if you can't do the job, they can always kind of tell because of the type of questions they ask you. So yeah. Did you do any paralegal work before securing a training contract? Yes, I did. I did quite a few paralegaling before I did a training contract, mainly because I was applying for a different training contract. I didn't really know what I wanted to specialize in, so like I said, it's not like I just figured out my career. Like I worked in so many different firms to really narrow down what I really liked. So I did criminal litigation. It is not like How to Get Away with Murder, I'll tell you that now. It is not like How to Get Away with Murder at all. So yeah, that is one thing to bear in mind. TV shows about law are nothing like what it's like in real life. So I did criminal litigation at a firm in London, and then I did some civil litigation at a firm in Kent. I did conveyancing, which is like property law. I did a lot of like commercial property work as well. I did private client. I just really wanted to get like different experience in different things and then kind of narrow down what I wanted to do. I did like commercial, corporate. I've always loved like commercial law, corporate law, like since like uni. It's just always been my thing. So yeah, that is really what I'm specializing in. You know, I've done property law as well during my training. both are like my thing basically. So moving forward, I'm still figuring it out. Like, I'm still figuring it out. I don't really know until you get to a point where you're just like, this is what I want to do. Everybody's figuring it out, like, trust me. Everybody pretends to have it all together, but it's not true. We're all still figuring it out, and that's just the way life is. Like, no one teaches you certain things. You just have to experience it to really understand it. And I feel like that is what it's like with like chasing your career. Like, it's a personal thing. So yeah, I got an offer from University of Law and BPP. I don't know which one to choose. I think you should pray about it and think about like which one your heart is going with, and then just go for it. That's what I would do. That's what I did anyway. So yeah. Tips on funding law school. Do I really have any tips on funding law school? Like, law school is just so expensive. So expensive. But I think there's a new course now that the Solicitors Regulations Authority have now authorized. It's called the SQE. I think it's called the Solicitors Qualifying Exam. So you don't really have to pay that much for law school anymore. You're willing to wait for when it's actually enforced. So yeah, but law school was really, really expensive. I had to do a loan to actually pay for my law school, and then I paid that myself, and that was really expensive. Like, law school is expensive on its own, and then the interest that comes with the loan was so expensive, it was a joke. Like, it was so expensive. So when I say, guys, law school is the most expensive thing that I've ever had to pay for, it's not a joke. Like, it's so expensive, and I fully get it. I would say if anybody wants to do law now, I would say just wait till the SQE is enforced and then go to do it. I think that one is like £2,000, £3,000, which is like quite cheap compared to like 15k, 17k, 18k that law school was before. Oh, that's a joke. Do you think you'd ever change careers in the next 30 years? I don't think so, but then you never know. You never know where life can take you. So right now, I don't think so. In the next 30 years, I'll probably be doing law more than like life is gonna happen. I'm gonna have children and things. Like, can you imagine your parents on YouTube doing all of this that I'm doing? That's the way I think about it. Like, I can't imagine myself as, you know, somebody in their like 40s or 50s doing all of this. It just seems like a lot, because when I think about like my aunties and uncles who are like maybe like in their 40s or their 50s, or like even my older cousins, they have so much going on with their life, like children and like their husbands and wives, and there's just so much other things that you have to like do when you're at that stage. I feel like I just don't see myself doing YouTube forever basically. But with law, I feel like that is something that I see myself doing in the next 30 years. Whether I change my career is another whole ball game, because I spent so much money trying to be a lawyer. I don't think I will change my career anytime soon, but you never know. You never know where God will call me, so I don't know. Just never know. Never say never. So who knows? Last one. Someone said, what do you prefer, being a social media influencer or doing law? I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't say I prefer one over the other. I love doing both. Both really give me different opportunities. Like, the opportunities that I would get from influencing are so different from the opportunities I would get in my legal career. Like, there's so many things I could do with my law career as well, and there's so many things I could do with like influencing. So I wouldn't say I prefer one over the other, but I will say doing YouTube and Instagram is way harder than doing law, only because I feel like with influencing you have to be present every single day. Like, you have to entertain people and you have to keep people engaged, you have to keep your followers engaged, and yeah, it's just a lot of pressure. And I feel like if you don't keep it up, you can lose it quickly. But with law, all you have to do is your work. Like, literally, all you have to do is your work. Do it well, satisfy the clients, and that's it. There's no one that will be like, oh, why does she look like that? No one cares. No one cares about what you look like. As long as you do the job, and that's it. Like, and you'll still get paid. But whereas with influencing, if you're not engaging enough, if you're not doing this and doing that and putting yourself out there, you kind of get left behind. That's why I said previously that I don't know if I'll be able to keep it up in like my 30s and my 40s, because it's gonna be really hard. Like, life will life will happen. So I feel like it's definitely gonna be hard. And yeah, it is really hard. I feel like it's even getting harder now, like with the way the algorithm on Instagram is all set up. Like, it's just making it harder for influencers to thrive, right? Like, with my legal career, I can thrive in that as much as I want to. I can go on to own my own law firm. I can go on to be a partner at a really prestigious law firm. Like, I can do so many other things and it will be within my own power. I can control it, kind of thing, to an extent, obviously with God as well. But I feel like with law, I can control it to an extent, whereas with influencing, you can't control people. You can't make all your subscribers subscribe and watch your videos all at the same time. You can't make your followers like a particular picture. You can try and get your engagement up, but there's only so much you can do. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Guys, if you have any video requests, make sure you comment down below, because I have a list of videos that I want to do, like career related advice, interviews, stuff like that, and also like getting work experience, vacation schemes. There's so many video ideas that I have, but also I want to know what you guys want to see, because it's all well and good me having a list of videos, but if you guys don't care, then what's the point? So I definitely want to do videos that you guys will definitely enjoy. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment down below, like I said. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.